Are we going? Yes, we are. Okay, guys, welcome back to Lokean Gaming. I'm going to take you on a temple tour. One of you said that it sounded interesting to see what changes had happened. You can see the main hall is back almost to normal. I tried to replicate it as far as I could. I don't know why, but that couch won't be placed exactly. It's driving me nuts. We've been juddering a little bit. I don't know if it's because of the amount of stuff we have or it's just Oculus being Oculus, but let's begin. So we have the main table. You now see there is the gigantic turkey I told you about. Exotic butters and donuts. And we have the, still have some Viking stuff. And Loki got a key for the fox. Got the horsey. And we adopted some wolves. Now, these standy things, as I'm calling them, that I make from the pictures, if you're right at the right angle, they look fantastic. If you're not at the right angle, then you can see the edges. I don't mind the edges, but I'm sure they're driving some of you crazy. So, to me, they look pretty cool. And with some of them, I was amused. His ravens came out with blue. And we got the big bears for Thor. And again, if it's all depending on what angle you're standing at. It's just like those old standees. This came out pretty good. I like how that came out. And again, guys, I'm not doing this for profit, so I'm not running in places and, you know, grabbing people's stuff and running around laughing like a maniac. Got more standees here. That's actually standee too. I think you can tell. You can see the ridges on it. And this is pretty much the same. Got the art back, and now it doesn't throw shadows because I made it myself. I made it way too big, and they love it, so it's not going anywhere. Got the foxes back. I've loved this gnome for decades, this particular art piece, and Odin's like, you're getting that. Got this. I know this is a lot to look at. Got the pentacle. Got a rainbow. Got the runes, and the rest is pretty much the same. Sorry if I'm going a little fast. I see these temples every day, and then I tend to rush through them. And got us gnomes, so we have gnomes. And what I like about these is, I don't know if you can see it, but that's actually like a little cutout bit in there. So those are cool. We're gonna go over. Yeah, go over road. For no particular reason other than I've been doing it so much to do repairs and to set the houses up. This is a temple that's perhaps changed the most. Okay, we're going to move forward while everything is loading. Let's look at some ships. While we're waiting for a second, I know we're looking... Yeah, see the nice animals? So a lot of stuff got loaded into this. And you can hear all... Maybe you can't hear that, but it's all loading. I'm sorry if I sound tired. I've just been under the weather like the last week or so. Got temple kitties now, because this is Lord Freyr and Freya's place. So we've got a lot of stuff for their comfort. Cut out of Lord Freyr. And we've got Poseidon here. We've got Sekhmet. Got some butterflies, like for Segan or for anyone else. Got the Lady Freya. Got the cutout around her. Got a drink. Long story there. Got the gnome showed back up. Kitty. Golden boar. Flowers. Foxy. Flowers. And butterflies. And a phoenix. And you can see, since we're adding so much stuff, we're actually breaking these boxes up into little staged areas. So we have the tank. We have the parrots coming in. He wanted parrots so badly. I don't know why. He wanted parrots so badly. Kitty. Waffles. And the Bastet statues. And again, a lot of this stuff is, if you're in the exact right spot, it looks great. If you're not, you see the sides. So we got the piggies. Got the waffles. That's the wolf I rescued. That's a wolf I rescued. Got that again. Got donuts. So you can see some of this has changed. A lot of this has changed, actually. There's party balloons for some reason, and there's drinks and everything else set out so that guests to the temple can enjoy themselves. Now we have the Greek gods here. And so we have Lord Apollo, his came out best, naturally. And we have Lord Hades, and we have Lady Athena, and we have Zeus, and we have Dionysus, and we have Hermes. I think Hermes is back here helping. Please don't, my lord. We have food for our guests. We have more piggies. And we have a black cat. And of course we have a leopard because Dionysus is here. We have foxes and wolves. And if we go in here, you can see we have the fish. And we have the pond. And we have the tiny little boat. Almost exact copy of the one that he's holding. So he loves that. And we have the phoenixes. One here and one over there. Butterflies. And if you look up, there's a disco ball. There was one in the first hall as well. So these are getting kind of silly, but they're liking them. Look how tiny that ship is. Look how tiny. Tiny. And we've got the wolf guarding the gateway. And we've got the bears. So I really like this one because these came out a lot better when I did them on my own. They do have those sides, but I don't mind them. And again, this is a private home, so I'm not going out and like stealing clip art. If it's readily available, I take that as a go-ahead sign. If someone would see their art and say, hey, please take that down. I don't care what you're using it for. I don't want it in your cyber home. That would be fine. Got the cokes, mead, everything else. Okay, so let's keep moving. We're gonna go to the third temple. And I'm sure, guys, that we could wedge a couple more gods in here and there, but it just seems that they naturally repeat sometimes from temple to temple, who wants who where and such forth and such not. So you see, we had a sense of humor in this one. This is Loki's temple, so welcome to Loki's temple. Got the exotic butters, got the donuts. Got Slippy's here, got the wolves, got the American God sign. That's Lord Hermes for Tyr, the Woofles. And we hired a bartender. Doesn't he look loving and kind and gentle? So we have Mr. Wednesday for the bartender. Got the kitties. Got the drinks. Got the roses, got the fox on the bed, got the tiny little woofle. Again, got the pentacle. We just went nuts. These standees, as we're calling them, that we make from the photos, from the PNGs rather, they're really super light as compared to something 3D like this. So it can be really super light. Some can get heavy. You do have to watch out. Some will automatically grow on you to a large size, but usually they're pretty good. Got the woofle. That is tilted on purpose, by the way. Because when you're back here, it appears regular. I thought Lord Hades would enjoy being in a more quiet temple, and then I remembered it was Loki's temple. Pizza, because he wanted one. Woofle on the sofa. Thor. This is the one where we had a sense of humor, so you don't have to write hate comments down below. This is Loki's temple. Black cat. Foxes. Butterflies everywhere for Segan. Also Phoenix, because she liked it. Little fox. Madame Paley had me put the tikis back. I was like, those are really offensive. She's like, those come from Hawaii. Those come from like Polynesian culture and that. She wanted them back. So we did our best to, since there's a lot of dragon legends from Hawaii as well, to get her dragons. And we have Madame Pele here, and she likes the butterflies, and she likes, this is kind of like a lava effect, though this was here for Loki first. And as you can see, another pond. This is a theme in our temples. And we have Little Red Riding Thor watching over here, and he's actually acting as a screen. We did it to be silly because Thor has a sense of humor, but he's acting as a screen so that when we come back here, the ladies have a private temple. So we have La Santa. She picked out what little statue she would have made out for herself, and we have the butterflies for her. And we have the big cats, partly for her, partly for Bastet, so they're sharing a temple, and they get along quite well, and she does love butterflies. And the girls love their roses. You see, every temple is festooned with these things. And again, you can see the dragons from here, and if you're back here, then you have Thor's screen again. But we can move back on. And see the Wolfle, and see all the other stuff. And I forgot these things are two-sided, and the first time I turned around and saw him looking at me, I screamed. So yeah, they are two-sided. If you would turn them over, they're double-sided. Like Bonnie here, if I would flip him over, he's double-sided. So yeah, there's only one I made, and I messed it up, and that's why it's not double-sided. And I put 2 cats on the bar, so give me a second. So, I don't even know how that happened. Okay, so now we're down to 1 kitty apiece. That looks better. Okay, so let's go to the final home. And again, I'm sorry if I sound run down. I've just been... Well, you guys know, I've been working on these for a while, so... It's a lot of work. I don't mind, but it is a lot of work. And sometimes when you've been doing it for so long, then everything looks wrong and you want to tear it all down. So let's take a minute to look out the valley. This was... originally Bastet's, and then it became Odin's, and then he tried to give it back to her, but he does have a problem sharing. He's kind of got the thing going on that Loki does, where sometimes they're worried that they'll get replaced, but they've gotten a lot better about it. So he has been sharing with the others to the point where you are not going to recognize his temple. So let's turn around, begin our tour. I'm going to try to keep my head down so you don't see it all at once. I got that for funsies, for Poseidon, and at first he thought it was the stupidest thing he ever saw, and what's wrong with you humans, and then he decided he liked it. If you look at it long enough, at least with the way my eyes work, it starts to look a little 3D. We've got the warhorse, both for Poseidon and for Odin. Got the white horsey again. A lot of stuff doing double duty. Pegasus. And we got the dolphins. And some other decor just to make this all for Poseidon. We have been looking at mermaids, but we're not sure. I don't want to push it too much. Temple kitties. You are going to notice a little bit of juddering. This is pretty heavy temple. We've got Lord Dionysus. Has his corner over here. So he has all the big cats with him. And got him a tiger plush. And again, this is all standy. All standy art. Well, except for them. They're 3D. And over here we have something for Lady Aphrodite. That's actually the Venus de Milo. Sometimes you would think it would be super easy to find all this stuff. It can actually be quite hard. So she has the same standing arch. She actually got it first. And she has flowers because the running joke is I keep getting Freyr and Balder confused as to associations. And I am forever bringing daisies to Freyr, which amuses him to no end. Okay, so we're going to come down to the main temple, and we're going to get greeted by the wolf family. And for the Baron Samedi and Mama Brigitte, we got this lovely couple. A lot of it is from my voodoo practices of grabbing what you can. Sometimes you can't find the right thing, so you got to use what you can find, and for free. Got Bastet, Wolfles and Kitties. We got that up on this one. And we got a place for Lord Hephaestus, and since I am under Ogubeliana, we have that. That's actually not for him. I think that's for... Was that... Vitala, which I always get my Ogus confused, but that's not actually his, but I've always used it for him because he has the color blue and gold, and it's the closest. And this is actually for Ogu, but he's sharing it with Lord Hephaestus as well, since they both work the forge. And Ogu rules over war, among other things, which explains the machete, but this isn't Ogu 101, so shut up. We've got all the foods. And again, the Baron and Mama. Some stuff I doubled up on. There's a tradition that Ogu gave up his dogs when he came to help humans, so I told him if I could ever get him his dogs back, I would. So that's why we have the German Shepherds in the temple. And we have the wolves. A lot of this is still, you can see most of it is still Odin's, but this is pretty generous on his part. We got the big cats in. Disco ball, because I don't know, they all love the disco balls now. We got the wolves. And we still got the pond, and I would normally go over the pond, but you've got to see this. Odin worked this out in his head. He likes this little path that we have to travel. So we got Papa Legba. So we got Papa Legba all situated with all the good stuff in life, and we've got all his sticks. I was having so much trouble, probably because I was doing it for Legba. That's another story entirely. So we got Papa Legba. We actually got him twice. Got wolves guarding the sanctuary gate. And we've got Papa Dambala up there, and we've got eggs for Papa Dambala. And if I go back here, we can see Papa Dambala better. He can be represented as a man, he can be represented as a giant white snake, he can be represented as anything he wants to be represented as. And of course, since, you know, in Wudon you use what you use, then Ogoe could use this, and other gods and goddesses, well, Wudon Law could use all this other stuff, so it could double up. So they're content. With only 4 homes, you do start to run into a problem of who do you honor and who is okay with not being honored. I still want to find a place for Hel, I still want to find a place for Jörmungandr, but I can't find anything I think is super respectful for them yet. The others kind of accept that these temples are going to look overblown because they're not like just a Dionysus temple or just the Aphrodite temple. But I'm doing what I can. And since the gods get bored so easily, probably within a week's time or maybe a couple days' time or right after filming, might not look like this, but I think this is the best effort I've put into making a temple so far. So this is actually my favorite out of all the temples I've made, because we did the most deliberate staging of the separate sections. So I hope you guys liked that, but since one of you was interested, I thought I'd bring you in. And I know I'm probably going to get all lovely comments about being eclectic and mixing all this stuff, but when I got into Wudon, there was a concept of not having an orphan god, to not leave a god behind just because they had taken care of you, but they were outside of Wudon. Now, some people disagree. I had a Hugon stalking me, telling me to get rid of all that witchcraft BS. But then I would have the Mambo that was working with me be like, no, you have to honor whoever takes care of you. So it's a complicated mess. So this is not even everybody, and you guys know that. I would need 12 more temples, and my favorites would keep sneaking in. Not that I don't love all my gods and goddesses. Not that they aren't my favorites, but there are ones that if they could have 30 temples just for them, they would get it. And Odin knows he's one of them, so he gave out. And that was hard for him. I could see him. He was ready to die. He had fought so hard for this temple, and he wanted it all for himself. He is a little greedy, but he gave it off because he was like, it wasn't right for him to keep the rest of my family away from me, etc., etc. So, the gods appreciate it, I think. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. I really like this one. And again, guys, I'm just showing it off so that you guys can get an idea of what you can do with VR, or, you know, ideas of what to do at home. In a perfect world, we would have all this stuff available right in VR, but I haven't mind making it, and most people don't mind. I'm not doing this to make a profit. I'm not doing this to steal stuff or make money off of it or claim it as my own work. You guys know I don't technically own anything in any of these temples, so it's all good. So if you guys like what you see, I know I've said that like 5 times, I'm super tired. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.